Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Cool, brother.
Right.
Thought,
Yes.
I thought we had some craziness going on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh,
Right.
Subi doesn't want us to talk. Huh.
No doubt, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. It's pretty cold out here in Europe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
How's Spain there?
Spain is cool, man. The weather is really cold, but yeah, just waiting for the holidays, man, to get over and start the new year fresh, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so, you know, I guess how we can start, I if you want to just like introduce yourself and we'll go through like, where you grew up and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay. So originally, I'm from South Bay, California. I'm from a place called Redondo Beach. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Uh, yeah, it's a pretty famous place. It's a UFO hotspot, actually. It's right across from Catalina Island. I grew up there originally, and yeah, man, I'm I'm almost in my 40s now. I moved out here to Spain maybe about like 2 years ago, and yeah, man, just I'm really heavy into like the whole uh like UFO space, UFO community.
Yeah.
I've been into it for a long time, and like kind of like with all the experiences I've had, it kind of just like made me even more interested into it. You know what I mean?
What what was the earliest I guess experience that you had that you can remember?
The earliest I would say would be probably like 7 or 8 years old.
Hmm.
I've had experiences of like going through windows, floating off of my bed, blue lights in the room. I've done a lot of research, man, like with this, especially with the abduction cases, because, you know, a lot of experiencers, they tend to have the same experience, not same exact experience, but somewhat similar, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
So it's good to kind of like have a checklist to see like, okay, this happened. It was like this, like this, like this, like this. And it's pretty much like, yeah, I've been having those experiences since I was pretty much young, you know?
So, I guess, since when you were young and you had those experiences, was it something that that you thought was unique at the time, or did you think that no, this is normal? Most people go through this.
Nah, you know what, man? I didn't even think anything of it when I was young. Um, I don't know. I think I just thought as them as dreams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the older I got, it kind of just went past my mind. But until I would say 2015, 2016, that's when I had my abduction case. And that's kind of when everything started to come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's pretty interesting that you refer to them like as dreams. Like, I was recently I did this research for the Jeremy Weeks story, and he referred to a lot of his experiences as dreams. So I guess in the cases that you were having these episodes, was it a feeling that you were kind of in between, like awake and then asleep, where you couldn't really tell if they were real or dreams?
Um, when I was younger, I honestly, I didn't really even know.
Hmm.
The only physical experience that I can really account for is the one that actually happened in 2016. So I'm sure I've had many abduction cases before that, but like the one I would say the most traumatizing, the one that it's stuck in my memory forever is what happened in 2016. But I definitely have like I document like everything that I can remember from when I was young to like till present day.
So 2016, you're about what age? Like in
Mm,
your 20s or something?
yeah, I was in my late 20s, like 27, 28.
Okay.
Quick question I have for you, man.
Sure.
What brings you interest into like the UFO community, like UFO space? Like
Yeah.
why are you interested in it?
Okay, so that's a good question. So I grew up in the 90s and during that time, the X-Files was really big and somewhere along the line I became hooked on that show. And that kind of
Okay.
was the door that got me into like UFOs and really looking at it, and I became obsessed with it.
Uh-huh.
I remember watching like documentaries with like Stanton Freeman and like watching these and going, man, is this real? Is this real? So growing up, I had this huge interest in this and I'd spend all this time on it. But when I got up into about middle school, about like 12, 13, 14, I had this realization that, man, this stuff is real, but I don't like how there's no confirmation. Like nobody is saying that this is absolute. And I would talk with my dad about it. And my dad would, he would give his opinions, but he would always say, but we don't know for sure. And when I would talk about, oh, what about these gray aliens, or what about this, or what about that, or what about these human looking aliens? He would always kind of bring me back down to like a rational thought a way of thinking. And that really killed a lot of the curiousness for me, like being so curious. So about middle school, about 12, 13, I gave up. And I said, this is interesting, but there's nothing here. And I think that nobody is going to ever know for sure. Now,
So what my question is like to add to that. So what gave you confirmation that it was real when you were like 14 years old?
oh, so, well, okay, well, there was a confirmation. There was something that did, um, so,
Like were you an experiencer yourself, or are
no,
you just like into the topic enough where you seen enough documentation and done enough research that you feel that it has enough like weight to it where it can be like
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
okay.
Now, when this is about like 1997, 1996, Alien Interview came out. And this was around that time. I mean, X-Files was still pretty big.
Mhm.
And that one really sold me. But at the same time, I walked away from the UFO alien topic because I felt there was no confirmation. But that alien interview video always stayed in the back of my head. So as years went by, I always went, man, nobody's debunked that. I would go to the Reddit boards and like nobody's really talking about this one. And more recently, in the last 2 or 3 years, there was a researcher who did a lot of research on that, and that brought me back. And then I said, "Man, I knew it. This, there's something to this." And then there's been more news that have come out that have really sold me. And so up until this point, I'm pretty convinced that there's definitely something going on, and that a lot of experiencers cannot be making up these stories. Um, and I mean, just talking to you right now, you made a reference to something that another experiencer uh, made a reference to. So, you know, um, looking at a bunch of different people from different backgrounds, from different walks of life, describing the same thing. And that makes me believe even more.
Right. Definitely, man. Um, I think, oh man, the UFO community is like a mixed bag, and I understand why it is the way it is. And I hate to see how political it's gotten,
Yeah,
you know, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, there has to be some type of, I guess, system with this because this is all new for us. Like we've never really like ever had to deal with something like this, like in the public um sector, like dealing with the public. But yeah, man, it's just I think it's fucked up because they put so much priority around UFOs and UAP, right?
Hmm.
But they don't really discuss about who's actually driving these vehicles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they want to talk about UFOs, but they don't want to talk about abductions. It's like you can't have one and not the other. Like they both coincide with each other. And I think to get real information about this phenomenon, about this topic, is to really engage with the experiencers
Yeah.
because I feel like they have nothing to hide, nothing to bullshit. Like me, I don't work for the military.
Yeah.
I'm just a normal citizen, but it's something that affected me within my life that I feel it's important that I should say something about it, because time is short, man. We all have an expiration date. I don't feel like we all have fears, but I think for me, we all have different perspectives on what life is. And, especially for me now with what has happened to me, I see life a lot differently. So it's like if the fucking government was to come like kill me or some shit, like I don't give a shit, you know? Like we're all gonna die anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't work for the government. I don't know any like national defense security like plans, but I can only go based on my own experience and the things that have happened to me tells me that there's something way bigger going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And you hit on a couple of things there about, the what is being talked about right now is drones. That's all we're hearing about. And it seems like it's annoying too because it seems like they're using that as an excuse to get away from like this is something otherworldly. So it's a drone, it's a foreign drone, or it's a drone something that's unmanned and
but you have to think to yourself, just think about this, right? The government has been covering up UFOs and NHIs for over 80 years, correct?
yeah,
So they have all the tools and all the resources to still keep this lie going. And they're still in denial about it to an extent, right?
yeah,
So there has to be something that's forcing their hand for all this stuff to be coming out in the media with Lou Elizondo, David Grush. I mean, we had four congressional hearings with testimonies under oath. I feel like people are not they're listening, but they're not actually like retaining the information.
yeah.
It's like we had Eric Davis. I'm sure you're familiar with Eric Davis.
Hmm.
He was sitting there in front of is it Burleson?
Yeah,
He's sitting there telling him directly, yeah, we've dealt with insectoids, we've dealt with NHI, we've dealt with grays, we've dealt with reptilians. And it's like people are not asking more important questions. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to be careful what you ask for. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like life is based on the eye of the beholder. Like I might see something like scary as fuck, and you might think it's like, hey man, that's cool as shit. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's just the reality we live in. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's very crazy to me because people beg for disclosure, but if you really think about what they're actually disclosing, fucking NHI man looks like something out of a Ridley Scott alien movie, man.
mm,
Like no bullshit.
Yeah.
Then these are some of the things that I've experienced in my life. So it's like when you see people, when I hear people that beg for disclosure, and it's like, do you know what you're really asking for?
Yeah.
It's the truth, you know?
It's it is a crazy kind of topic. Um and I think that I think the very first step is just them admitting that there is something, and and that's it. And getting past that, that would be like the first step, because like I said, so many experiencers and people, I felt like, years ago they were just dismissed, but now people are listening a little bit closer. And I think that's really important, because because other people may have had these experiences and haven't told anybody, or
No, you're right.
haven't spoke about it.
And the thing is weird, like, everyone has different experiences, but I think what is really more out in the mainstream is about all this enlightenment and like, oh, like, there are saviors and this and that. Like, they don't talk about the human mutilations
Hmm.
or the cattle mutilations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or the missing abducting people. Like, David Politis did the missing 411.
Yeah.
There's thousands of people that have gone missing. So it's like, that's why I'm saying the subject is like the waters is very muddy.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I think we need a reset, man. I think we need like a great reset. As sad and dangerous as it is to say that, I mean, like, what other choice do we have, man? It's like they're the top dog. Like, this is a serious thing. Like, when you look at the bigger picture, we're not in control. Like, we live on a rock floating in the middle of an infinite universe.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
There's been recorded cases. I mean, if people are actually paying attention, there has been recorded UFO and UAP the size of like our planet and even bigger than that.
Yeah.
And this is a UAP. This is, you know what I'm saying? So it's,
Yeah.
people can't fathom and they can't wrap their mind around that because they're looking at this from a very small mind frame, you know. And then you hear like Stephen Greer saying like, "Oh, the abductions are like it's government, and it's all the government have been doing all the abductions." It's just pure bullshit, man. You know, I think we're just gonna end up fucking around and finding out the hard way.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing that needs to happen.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
'Cause
Um,
there's billions of people, man. It's like the government's not going around abducting everybody from their homes. Like, what is
yeah.
the purpose of this?
Yeah, and the experiences are all different. And so 2016, you have this experience. What uh what was your experience like? What do you remember?
So how can I put this? I just want to put you like exactly in this moment.
Sure.
So, all right, when you're like doing something that you shouldn't be doing,
Hmm.
and maybe you get caught doing something, or like just that moment where it's like when you get caught slipping.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, does that make sense?
Yeah, I kind of, yeah, like
Like if you're like walking down the street and you turned around and somebody had a gun to your face or some shit. You know what I mean? It's just that moment in between that's like, holy shit, this is happening. This is real. Like, this is a real situation. So this was in 2016. I'll never forget it. I was already heavily into the UFO topic already. And yeah, man, this situation just went down. I was sitting on my couch and four beings, man. One by my feet, one on top of my head, another one on my left side, and another one on my right side. And basically they just lifted me up, almost like I was on a gurney,
Hmm.
but there wasn't anything underneath me. Like I was just basically floating on like an invisible table, but it was almost like solid in a sense. And it was like I remember I was sitting on the couch, I was watching TV, and I was kind of dozing off, but I wasn't. I was like kind of like right in between of like falling asleep and not. So, but my brain and my conscious was still there. So I knew what was going on because I can see everything around me. And you know, I've done so much research on this topic alone. Whitley Strieber's Communion. I mean, everybody references it when they talk when the experiencers talk about their experiences. They always say Whitley Strieber, the gray aliens, the best example I can give of what I saw. The the color of their skin is like when you put coffee, like my coffee here, and you put milk inside of it, and it turns into this brownish color.
Hmm.
Like that's the color of their skin. Like that's the great like the NHIs that I dealt with because there's all different types of races, you know.
Yeah.
But me in particular, I remember this specifically, the color of their skin, and they had the almond shaped eyes, the with the triangular head. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just remember going to the garage and I just blacked out. And I
Hmm.
woke up maybe like a few hours later. I was on the couch, but I was traumatized, man, because I knew what had happened to me. It confirmed to me that it was real. And yeah, man, it made me so emotional. I just started bawling, crying, man, because I didn't know what to do. I was crying because not at what had happened to me. I was crying because it confirmed that this shit is real.
Hmm.
You know, it's almost like kind of like winning the lottery or something. Like, you know what I mean?
You you said that you went through the garage. Like, are you meaning like you went through the walls?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, it's
I pretty
interesting.
much went through the. So in the living room, there's like it's kind of like a laundry room,
Hmm.
and the laundry room leads into the garage. And yeah, man, I can literally remember just myself going through the living room, going through the laundry room, and into the garage, and that's when I blacked out. But I was going really like really fast and slow at the same time. And I remember I was laying down, but my face was looking up. So like I said, it's like I was laying on a gurney.
Hmm.
So I couldn't move my head, but I can move my eyes. A lot of experiences always say this. They're like, they can't move, but they can move their eyes. So I can see them like they're walking, but I'm just like looking up at them and I'm like completely in shock of what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And I just remember the look on their faces. They just looked pissed off. I don't know why they were mad. That's something that always stuck with me, but they just looked really, really angry. And I don't know why. Like, what the fuck did I do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you get the sense that they were like human or non like robotic?
Nah, they weren't robotic. The sense that I got that they are physical beings. They are another race,
Hmm.
or another part of life, you know, but they weren't robotic at all.
Hmm.
I know people might say like different races they or grays they might run into like they seem like robotic, but no.
What
Yeah.
did did they speak? Did they like speak to you or tell you,
No,
relax you?
they didn't speak. They didn't say anything. I just went from the couch and I went right through the garage.
Hmm.
And I don't really know what happened after that. But that was that situation right there just confirmed to me like everything else. And then when I started just doing more research, a lot of more stuff just start coming back, you know,
Hmm.
from the past, like me being on craft, seeing crafts like being in hollow rooms and just seeing a screen on the wall, or me being in a room and I can see all of Earth. And it's like all these memories just start coming back after a while, you know?
And so was it in 2016 that you reached out to MUFON about the experience?
So I reached out to MUFON in 2023, and I've had about 10 recorded cases that I documented myself of my experiences, and I had given them all my information. And then after a while, they just ghosted me.
Hmm.
I don't know why they ghosted me. Um, they noted all my cases as like of high importance. They even had to, you know, contact their state director to try and get approval for my cases, you know? And it's weird because I feel like MUFON has like some type of connection with the government
Hmm.
because they have to be relaying all their information to some type of source. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's crazy because when I was on the phone with one of the interviewers from MUFON, I can hear someone on the phone like in the background, like on the other line.
Hmm.
If that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, like
There,
listening in.
yeah, there's listening in. There was more than like at least three or four people that were listening in on my phone call.
Wow.
Every single time that I had an interview with the MUFON investigator.
Hmm.
But
Um,
yeah, it's a lot of stuff, man. I don't know how much time we have. But
you so well, the one thing that sticks out to me is that like going through the walls, um, because there's this theory that higher dimensional creatures are able to pass through walls like that. Um,
right.
like it's a scientific theory, like a higher dimension, you should be able to go through walls. Like we're three-dimensional and we can draw a picture and we can like erase things. That's sort of like us like passing through something. Um, so that's pretty interesting that, you know, that you remember that you were just like going through walls.
Of course. And are you familiar with is it Jim Simivan? He's a former CIA.
Yeah, yeah.
So something that he said on I think it was Engaging the Phenomenon podcast,
Mhm.
he mentioned that a lot of experiencers they for some miraculous reason they see their roof missing from their house when they get abducted. And it was crazy that that statement that he said always stuck with me because one of my experiences, I was at my ex-girlfriend's house many years ago. And I remember specifically, I was laying on the couch and the entire roof of my house, there was no roof.
Hmm.
So basically, I was laying down and I can see the stars,
Wow.
but I was in my house. And I remember him saying that, and it's crazy. I'm like, how the fuck did you know that shit? And I remember I'm laying there and I just see a giant craft literally come over my house. And then next minute, I hear like some whispering or like people talking on the side of my ear as I'm laying down. And I see this craft come over. And I can literally see two figures, like shadows, standing outside of my porch. And
Hmm.
I have a curtain that was in front of my porch, but I can tell that there was two people standing right there.
Huh.
And next minute, I just blacked out. So that was
Wow.
definitely like another abduction case. But Jim Simivan saying that for sure stuck with me because it's like that's such a like precise detail of like the roof being missing.
Yeah.
Like, how would he know that? So I know the CIA is definitely informed and they're well aware of like abduction cases for sure.
Yeah, that's interesting how you've had these experiences and you're kind of catching these little things in what's being talked about now. Like it's
Of
kind of
course.
like, okay, yeah, like people may not believe me, but I know what I've experienced, and that little tidbit like really resonates with me because that's exactly
Of
what
course.
um
Yeah, man.
so you mentioned that you moved when you moved from California to Spain, it followed you. So these experiences like followed you, like you see lights, you see craft, you see have dreams like like weird dreams like this.
Yeah, man. So I started having these weird dreams like remote viewing, right? I'd never practiced remote viewing, but one day, man, I ended up in the White House. I don't know. I was in this is when Biden was in office. I was in his bedroom and his him and his wife were literally having sex.
Hmm.
And it's crazy because I'm all like, why am I in the White House and like where is this room at? And it's crazy. I even Googled it. I was like, rooms that are in the White House. And there you go. It was a room and it's pretty much like decorated all red. It's pretty much what I saw. So like even that's that's one situation I had. Um just having dreams and then seeing them play out in real life.
Hmm.
Um yeah, a number of different things, man.
Yeah, that's also another thing that's mentioned about in abduction cases, people seem to come back with abilities that they didn't have. Like remote viewing is one of them. They're
Yeah.
able to remote view, and it seems like the more experiences that you have with these beings or NHI, that things in your brain start to unlock and you
Right.
start to. So I guess like the theory is that maybe at one time we did have all these abilities. We had the ability to remote view, telepathy, and all of these things, but somehow, somewhere, it kind of got lost. So, that's weird.
Yeah, man. And it's weird. I started getting a lot of like numbers and like numerology, like you know, when people say like they see like 444 or 111 or all this shit. Um, yeah, 44.8. I don't know what that really means, but it's very significant to like life. It's a very important number and meaning. Not too sure what it means, but yeah, 44.8, man. I don't know if you want to write that down
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll look it
or
up
even
and
like
see.
come up.
So,
But
do you get the sense that that they are like trying to tell you something or they're guiding you by doing something or nothing at all?
yeah, man. I don't know if they're you know what? I feel like life is weird, man. It's really complex, but I feel like it's somewhat like our life is predestined, like it's
Mhm.
written in some ways, you know. I'm kind of 50-50 on it, but but yeah, man, I don't know. I think maybe I get these messages and I don't know what they're for, you know.
Yeah.
Do you have a piece, do you have a pen and piece of paper?
Um, I don't. I don't.
Scratch
I
piece of
can.
paper, a pen, anything, man. It doesn't matter.
I can write something down on my phone.
All right, so draw draw a circle in draw three circles in a triangle,
3 circles in a triangle.
right?
Actually, let me like this. Do you have?
I don't know where I'm getting this information, but that's just what I've got. But it has to be some type of connection, right?
Circles in a triangle. What the part depends on I need one.
All right. We're about to go back to school for a second.
Right. 3 circles.
So three circles and like a triangle shape. That's like the common triangle UFO, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna write it with you too. So you got three circles, which makes a triangle. So I get these messages. It's like I said, remember I said 44.8.
Yeah.
You can write that down. So the number 3 = 1. Don't ask me how I know that. It's just what I got. So 3 = 1, right?
Yeah.
If you have three circles here, right? I mean, this sounds so stupid, but it's really it's what I'm getting. You have three circles, right?
Yeah.
So if you join the three circles together, you get a triangle, correct?
Right.
Okay, so once you connect the all the once you connect all the circles together, it becomes one solid object, correct?
Right.
It's no longer the three dots, it becomes one solid object. So the three is a one, right? The three becomes a one, okay?
Yeah.
Because now you've connected it all. But the one is actually a four. The four is the four is basically like a silent, like you know, like how we have silent letters,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the one is basically a four, but you don't know it's a four. It's just a hidden number. It's in one. So once it becomes one, you connect the three dots. It becomes one, but it goes into the fourth dimension. Does that make sense? So three, obviously 3 + 1 = 4,
Yeah.
but this is 3 = 1. So I'm not saying 3 + 1 = 4. I'm saying 3 = 1, and the one and the four is silent. So I would consider the four like in like uh the four is like fuck, what's the name of that shit? Quantum mechanics, right?
Hmm.
Like the hidden knowledge, the hidden university, right? The number four would basically be like anti-gravity, hidden knowledge. So what's the opposite of four, right? Four, opposite of four is four.
Hmm.
And four and four is 8, right? So that's the infinity wheel.
Huh.
right?
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
basically, it just repeats itself. It's just like, yeah, man, that's literally what I got. Like I said, it might sound really stupid and basic, but that's what stuck with me, man, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting how you know, and that's another common thing that you hear about like information that's given to you, but it's not explained, right? You're kind of like just figuring it out as you go along,
Right.
and you got to try to find out, what it means or
Maybe you can crack the code, man, but that's literally what I got, you know? And I get this sense like fear the black triangle. Are you familiar with black triangles
well, only from what I've read about in reports and
in the
stuff like
research
that.
and
Yeah.
reports? Something about these black triangles, I don't know what it is, but like we have to fear them or they're scary as fuck. I don't know what's driving them or like what they will start, maybe a galactic war or I don't know, but something about these black triangles like is very like dangerous.
Hmm. That's interesting. And then, so are there any other senses that you get from this type of experiences? Because that's interesting because you can have an experience and then you come back and you go, man, I don't know what it is about that thing. I don't know, but it's not good. You know, you get the sense of certain things that you should be cautious about.
Um, I don't know, man. I could only count for what I've been through myself, you know?
Yeah.
Um, when I when I look at the news and I hear the Lou Elizondos and all these people that talk all this bullshit,
Hmm.
I'm all like, man, I don't understand what their motive is, you know? It's good. I like the fact that they're talking about the subject
Yeah.
because no matter what you do, you can't go around it. You can
Right.
be a disinfo agent all you want, but I mean, if NHI just pops up whenever it wants to, what are you gonna do then?
Yeah.
You know? So I just say like, you know, just that's why I'm just honest as I can be with this whole situation, you know, because it's really it's bigger than us, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing is like somebody's going to see this and they're going to see one little thing that you said and they're going to be like, you know what? If they've had the experience, they're going to be like, man, this guy's had the same thing. Or they're going to
Right.
know that, you know, there's something to it. It's
That is
not.
crazy too, because some I can't even remember who had said this, but it's been a number of people. They'll say, "Oh, aliens, they don't care about us. NHI, they're not worried about us. They're millions of years advanced." Okay, so if they're not worried about us, why are they abducting millions and millions of people?
Yeah.
Why are thousands of people, millions of people disappearing?
Having
You know, that
experiences.
they're having experiences. So obviously it's for a reason. They care enough because they're actually doing it. You know, it's I think the nature of our reality is pretty scary, man. But I just feel like it has to happen,
Yeah.
you know? If we ever as a society, I would hope to see in my lifetime, and I feel like it will, because we will have some sort of reset, you know, from the higher ups. But there's no possible way that we can live in a world with anti-gravity, like for instance, like the Jetsons, flying cars, the Fifth Element.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just flying cars, just, you know, the future, basically. There's no way we can have this type of future if we don't coexist with NHI openly. I don't see it happening because where are you going to get the energy source to power anti-gravity? It's free energy.
Yeah. And
You know what I mean?
I think that we'd get there a lot quicker if we weren't always fighting with each other and in having so much wars and trying to be the first one to weaponize something or turn something into a war.
Of
Yeah.
course, but it's true. But the reality of the situation, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you or I can ever do anything about it. People, there's always going to be war. People are going to be shit. You know what I mean? There's good people and there's bad people. Um, I just feel like people put too much emphasis on like, oh, we need to change the world and we need to stop our nuclear this. Like, none of us is going to tell the government to stop nuclear weapons,
Yeah.
right? They're not going to do it. So, like I said, I don't know. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I know the situation is pretty big because if you look at everything that's going on, something has to be forcing the government's hand for them to disclose and be doing all these congressional hearings like this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it goes back to what you said at the beginning. I mean, we're gonna fuck around and find out like where we're
Yeah,
going.
man, but I think we need to, you know? I think it's about time. And yeah, like I would love to see in my lifetime us progress to the future. Like I always think like what comes after AI?
Yeah.
You know, technology just keeps progressing further and further and further. So at some point in time, you know, where does technology go? Like there has to be some type of intervention here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I talk about that a lot with people about, you know, their thoughts about how fast we're moving, how quickly we're moving, how fast things are changing, and what are we going to be like in the next few years, you know, because we're merging with technology and you know, are we going to be part of technology? Are we going to be, you know, merged? So because now you got like meta glasses and now you have talk of like chips with QR codes that are put on you and things like that.
Right.
So it's kind of a scary thing, but it's like the direction that we're going. I mean, you know, I do agree with you about like us fucking around and finding out because it's kind of how we've as humans have always done things. We've always like made huge mistakes and learned from mistakes like war and things like that.
Yeah. It's about time, man. And you know, with all the sightings that's going on, like people aren't stupid, man.
Hmm.
You were saying earlier about the drones and this whole New Jersey drone thing that was going on in incursion. It's like, come on, man. We have satellites that can look out trillions of miles into the space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can see a penny from space, and it's like, you know, we can't get a clear photo of a drone flying a few hundred feet off the ground in New Jersey.
Right.
It's just complete bullshit, man. Like something's going on, you know. And I'm not surprised, man. You know, look at where we live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you find it frustrating that that the government comes up with these things like this and I mean, you're being experienced, you're going, man, that's not true. You know, when they're just like, oh, it's drones. Um, we don't have any information on NHI or I have no information.
Yeah, man. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, man, because it doesn't seem like, I don't know, they're just gonna put their foot in their mouth, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the reality of it, UFOs, NHI come in and out of our airspace 24/7, 365, man.
Yeah.
You know, they can they can pop out of nowhere and just shut this shit down. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, I want disclosure. I would love the president to come out and announce all this shit. But at the end of the day, man, it's all gonna come out anyways, man. You know,
Yeah.
I know you're probably familiar with the Phoenix Lights. That shit was like 10 football fields wide, man.
Hmm. Yeah.
You feel me? it's like, what can we do against that? There's no hiding that.
Yeah, and yeah, I remember when that happened, and the explanations were so crazy. They were like
Right.
there were road flares. There were road flares in the distance, and so many people saw those things, you know.
Right. Yeah, man. Complete bullshit.
Do you get the sense that there's somebody at the top of our government that is NHI that's controlling the narrative? Was that what you were getting at? That you felt like somebody at the top is letting these little things squeeze out?
Yeah, to an extent, man. I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue, man. I wouldn't doubt it, you know. But I don't know. It's just weird. Like when they say the government has some type of agreement with NHI, it's like there's billions of people in the world. Like, how are they just gonna pick you out and be like, we're just
Yeah.
gonna come here and just like, I don't know. I'm not buying it. But anything can happen, you know. So I don't know, man. I just know for a fact the situation is definitely a real thing, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it is one of the things that people bring up too is that why is it that this one small group of people are entrusted in this secret and not the rest of the world? It's just this one small group. It's our government and people in power, people with all the
Yeah.
power who have all the weaponry and all the stuff. They're the ones that can say, um, yeah, we have all this stuff, but we can't tell you, you know. We
Yeah.
control
Does it
to let you know.
I mean I understand why they do it, but it's like you got to be careful how you do it, man, because like I'm saying, we're not top dog, you know. If NHI can just come pop up in your home whenever they want, I mean, it's like, who's really making the shots, you know?
Yeah, and do you think that, people will panic because of this, learning that there are other beings much higher than
Yeah,
ourselves and
yeah, people will panic. There's no lie in that, man.
yeah,
I mean, a 10-foot being that looks like a giant bug, you know, that is
yeah.
smart as shit. I mean, yeah, it's scary as fuck, but it's the truth. So I think once people get beyond what the reality is, then I guess people will be okay with it. But it's a ugly truth, man. Because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, I won't say that it scares me, but it does and it doesn't.
Hmm.
I'm more fascinated than I am scared, But I know what I'm dealing with is something completely fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, and it's interesting too when you said that that while it was happening, you couldn't believe it. Like, whoa, this is happening. Like this is happening. This is real.
Yeah. I was fully conscious of what happened, man. And it will never, I think that's one thing that experiences deal with too. The situation is so traumatizing. It sticks with you forever, man.
Yeah.
You know, I think everybody in life has a traumatizing situation. You know, it's a mixed bag. You can pick whatever you want, but it's just something that will stick with you forever. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's something I'll never forget, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, you're sitting at home and then these things just can come in. They just pass through the walls and they just, that's pretty traumatic.
And it's weird too, because not everybody is an experiencer. I've heard that experiencers are somewhat chosen. For what purpose? I don't know. Some people have abduction experiences, some don't. You know, I'm not trying to say I'm better or more special than anybody. I didn't ask for it. I'm just acknowledging the fact that it happened, and I would want to know more about it. I think that's what pisses me off is the fact that I can't learn more about this phenomenon,
Huh.
and the government doesn't is not helping the situation.
Yeah.
I just have to stick within my truth, and I look for information. I wouldn't say guidance, but I look for some type of comfort within other experiencers and their situations because of how real I know it is,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's well said. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of experiencers that do the same thing. But then, and then there's also those ones that are afraid to talk. They're afraid to say something because they're Did you ever feel like that? Did you ever feel like, man, I don't want to tell anybody about this because they might think I'm crazy?
At first I did, and then after a while I didn't care anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Because at some point in time it's like nothing is forever, man, you know? Like I don't work for the government. Like I'm not bound to any secrecy or or anything. If something traumatizing happened to me and I'm pretty, dedicated into this field, fuck yeah, man, I'm gonna talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
You're not worried about like your job. You know,
no, man, and honestly it sucks because I see like George Knapp, Linda Moulton Howe, I see all these senior citizens, all these old ass people that have been fighting in this community for so long.
Mhm.
And it's like, man, it's such a shame because it's like they don't have any there's no outcome for all the hard work they put in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's so unfortunate, man. It's sad. That's why I feel like something eventually has to happen because, 4 congressional hearings and David Grush still hasn't been inside of a skiff. I mean, the ICIG noted his case to be credible, like of high importance.
Yeah.
So how long does it take to actually interview someone? I feel like it's complete bullshit, man. But the government is well aware of the situation. I think it's just crazy when it just pisses me off when Lou Elizondo parades around and all these people in the top people in the UFO community. They say the government doesn't know what's going on. We need to investigate and see. Bro, we've been studying this since the inception.
Yeah.
What the hell? What have they been doing for 80 years, man?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is not nothing new. We didn't learn about this yesterday. So it's like that right there is already like, it's putting us at a disadvantage. Like just being in denial of the fact that it's like we don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And also you have to also think about them too, is that they're going to have to say, okay, this is real. We've had this stuff for almost 80 years. And then the next question is going to come up. Okay, what about the abduction cases? What's going on there? Right. First
That
here's dying.
the discussion never seems to happen. It's
No.
always surrounded around UAP, and they always briefly talk about NHI, but it's like they don't want to talk about abductions, and I don't see how the hell you can get around it because okay, once you get so deep into the whole UFO UAP and the actual nuts and bolts in the craft, like okay, then who the fuck is driving this shit?
Yeah.
It's like from one question to this to that, and it's like they're like leaving things out. And I think that's where we're gonna fuck around and find out because it's like, how can you have these discussions and you're leaving all these things out? It makes no sense to me at all, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And yeah, it's just a lot of like crimes that, are happening within this stuff too, with the missing people. It freaks me out. I remember going to a missing person site and just looking at all these missing people and thinking to myself, man, okay, maybe some were legitimately missing for some other reason. But how many are missing because they've been abducted in that sense? Or
True.
they've fallen off the edge of the world or something into another dimension? Because it's like, how can somebody go missing for this long and stay missing without a trace.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
blows my mind.
And then you never hear about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah. Life is crazy, man. Like I said, I don't have the answers, but one thing I do know for sure, the universe is really big, man.
Yeah.
And even that statement is an understatement. But I have a very strong belief that even NHI itself, even those beings that came and abducted me, I feel like NHI still doesn't have the answers themselves.
Hmm.
They're looking for their creators just like we question ours, you know? Even though they probably created us, they don't know who created them. It's I think all life is in search of something, because I don't know why I get the sense of the fact that they're like they don't know
Mhm.
any more than we do, even though they are smarter than us.
You know, at the beginning you were talking about like, you don't care, about like what happens, if I die, I die. Do you um do you feel like that because of your experiences, like they've made you stronger in that way, that you kind of got a glimpse of what life truly is and you're not afraid?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Huh.
Because it scared the shit out of me, man. Because it tells me that there's life beyond this planet, whether it's other dimensions or other universes, other planets. I mean, there's other life and it can travel and get here, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing ever. I think it's very ignorant. People here, it's like, why do you feel as if you're so important that, like, even if you believe in God or whatever you subscribe to,
Mhm.
it's like this one world, this one planet, like this is the best he could do in this infinite universe. Like all he made was just this one world, and it's just meant for us.
Yeah.
I think it's just the most selfish thing ever. And like people have been conditioned to think this way. And like, you know, I don't want to knock religion.
No.
I think everybody should believe in something, you know, but this is right here is my truth. I don't really know what goes beyond that, but I know this physical thing is real. You know.
Yeah, yeah, and like it's like that experience. It was confirmation for you that like, and that's really unique because most people, they're like what you said, like they may subscribe to like this religion where they've spent their entire life like waiting or looking for this confirmation about what happens after, what's out there. Are we the only one here? Is this world? Is that it? And that to me is scary, right? I would like what you said. I hope that they, do come out and at least say something, like give us confirmation that, there's more. There's more out there. There's more beyond this world.
Well, I don't know if you've heard, but the familiar, but the Nazca mummies, they're
Mm,
starting to get a lot more attention. They've discovered over 200 mummies,
yeah.
but for some reason they're only disclosing like a few of them. I think maybe like 5 or 6 of them. But even that within the media, it's like they throw so much dirt on it, man. But
Yeah.
those mummies are real, man.
Yeah.
They're real as shit.
There's yeah. Yeah, I've seen that and that's the thing, like when they're looking at them, they're saying like, okay, there's no like that explanation doesn't fit in like the narrative of like our evolution, right? It's just
No,
unusual.
it
It's weird.
doesn't.
And the
I
medium
mean, it's
stuff is gonna, say it with a
yeah.
smirk and stuff. So
It's clear. It's clear as day, man. They're tridactyl beings. They have 3 fingers. There's bones. There's muscles. I mean, even the beings even had eggs inside of them. They've
Yeah.
done CAT scans, DNA. They've done everything, man. So it's like it's kind of hard to get past the evidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that one was a weird one for me. But yeah, that's the other thing. It's like how the media is just like I see the change in it now, how they're not, they're kind of taking it serious, right? But there's still
Mhm.
kind of this thing where it's like kind of like, this is kind of funny. This is just, you know,
Yeah,
not sure.
there's still a lot of stigma to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think in order for that to go away, man, I think we just need some hard physical proof, man. We need something like life changing. I would say like a grand event. You know, I call it the big reset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's like a mass sighting where like a 4 mile wide UAP just parks itself over a city, or I don't know, man. But I don't think it's gonna come from the government. That's for sure.
No, no, it's going to come from, outside where the government can't deny or can't lie. I think that's what's
No.
going to happen. Um, what, uh, what would you say to other people who, they're going to watch this, they may have experiences and, they haven't said anything. They're not sure. What do you say to those people?
I would say life is short, man. We all have an expiration date. There's no reason in this world for you to take anything to the grave with you, regarding this subject, for sure. Um, it's our future, you know? It's the reality we live. It's happening for a reason, you know? And if we ever want to evolve to what NHI is or what NHI is doing, then we have to accept the reality that we live in. I
Yeah.
don't see it any other way, man. You know, I would love to be in a flying car and anti-gravity and travel the cosmos and all of that stuff, you know. But I don't see us getting over that fence if we're just gonna keep being in denial about the situation, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just my take on it, man. I think all information that comes out regarding this, truthful information, it just helps us become more knowledgeable about it because we don't have all the answers, you know.
Yeah. Agree.
I think our universe, space, life in general is just so fascinating. It's like, why would you not want to learn? Why would you deprive yourself of gaining more knowledge? You know,
Yeah.
that's the whole purpose, you know, of us being here, you know, I would think.
Um, one of the things I was going to ask you is, when you moved, overseas, was there, did you get the sense like, oh man, okay, I got away from this and, it's not going to happen anymore? Or you like, I know it's going to happen anyway, no matter where I go.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna happen.
Mm.
I wasn't fooling myself, man. Um, yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. I watch the news, I watch everything in UFOlogy and the whole, you know, space. I even try to be informed on a lot of sightings that happen out here. I think even more sightings have happened here since I've moved out here.
Huh.
So yeah, man. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not scared of it, man. I embrace it, you know. Like I said, it's nothing we can do about it, you know. So if you can't fight them, join them, right?
How is the people in Spain? What is their take on this? Are they more serious than Americans are, or
No, in Spain, man, they're pretty open to it.
hmm,
I think it's just America that's really like tight-lipped about everything, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, every government has they know they have their secrets, but I don't know. I would just say the world in general, man. Like I think everybody's pretty much everybody knows, you know, that we're
Yeah.
not alone. You know,
That's
I would think so.
I'm getting the sense of that now
Yeah.
for sure. Well, man, first I want to thank you for, taking the time to speak with me, and we have to do it again for sure.
Of course,
As
man.
more
Anytime.
stuff comes out of this,
I got more stories to share with you.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, we just kind of ran out of time, but man, yeah, yeah, let's do that. As more stuff is just coming out on this, and I would, love to get your take on your opinions on, what's going on. And it seems like every week there's something new. And it's
Yeah,
crazy.
man. Yeah, every week is something new. So, yeah, man, just stay knowledgeable, you know. This I think this is a great space to be in, you know.
For sure.
So the more information we get, it helps everybody out, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, all right, man. Yeah, I'll shoot you an email. We'll stay in contact and we'll do it again.
we'll connect, man. Thank you, brother. Cheers. I appreciate
Hey,
the invite.
thank you.
All
See
right,
you.
take care. All right.